Hey guys, welcome back to the Cool Classic Kids Show. And well, we just had the Summer Game Fest main showcase a couple of days ago, and journo is gonna journal, right? It never fails because, well, these politically motivated journalists just can't help but stick their own head up their own ass. That's pretty much all I could really say about this particular situation because, well, The Verge is bitching and whining that the Summer Game Fest featured no women on stage. And before we do proceed, let's just see who the writer of this actually is. What is their motivations? What are they all about? Let's read Ash here. Ash is a video game reporter for The Verge with a focus on covering marginalized gamers and their communities, writing about the intersection of video games and sex, and finding a way to make the general video game public care about the Overwatch League. Well, look, sorry to have to tell you this, but Activision killed Overwatch itself, so you've already failed on that front. Um, could you be any more honest that you were super politically motivated by, well, the usual suspect movements in, that have they own Twitters, like think tank, I guess you could say. But yeah, this is the type of person that we're dealing with here. Doesn't seem as though they particularly do objective reporting, I guess. No, instead they do this absolute nonsense. They said, for an industry that struggles with diversity, it's a failure to not be inclusive of the women who make games. Now, personally, look, for me, I am a female in the gaming space, and it's one of those things where I've dealt um many a times really with the snob remarks, kind of just not being taken seriously in like typical, nerd spaces and stuff, because it really was a hobby that centered around men. And for me personally, I always liked, I'm a tomboy. I've always been a tomboy. I've always been interested in things that guys tend to prefer. And so with that, I got into video games, I got into anime, I got into all sorts of things that were deemed for men. And this is a new day and age where it's kind of, gaming is definitely in a space of, well, it's optional of who it's for. But from a gamer's perspective, when I watched the Summer Game Fest showcase, the last thing I was thinking about is, oh, there's no women on stage. That was the absolute last thing I was thinking about. It's the last thing I cared about. Um, I was just complaining that we're seeing TV shows that look pretty trash. We're seeing phone games and iconic characters basically whoring these phone games out to try and essentially siphon money from people. We're just seeing nonsense in the gaming space. CGI trailers. This is the stuff that gamers in this space are concerned with, not how many women happen to, be on stage or not be on stage. I can make all sorts of jokes, and look, some people would obviously be offended by it. Not that I give a shit. I mean, it just is what it is. I really do not care. And the mass majority of gamers, even female gamers in this space, do not care. All I personally care about, well, was I pleased with the showcase? And overall, it was mid. To me, it was a 7 out of 10 showcase. Not because I didn't take a point off because there were no women. But let us continue. With the death of E3 nearly complete, Summer Game Fest has become a go-to summer event for gamers to get hyped about. But this year's Summer Game Fest, while it featured games that included a wide range of genres and a great diversity of characters, did not feature a single woman on stage. And all this person does seem to care about is the usual checklist nonsense. And that hasn't led to games getting better. Matter of fact, with more of these checklists, I'm not saying that the particular checklist itself and the quality of games all, both kind of being a thing. One, is particularly influencing another, but it's just interesting that the particular checklists that we see needing to be appeased and the quality of games happening to go down. It's interesting to see how these things do coincide. Now, whether they cross over directly, indirectly, whatever have you, hey, there's definitely debate to be had about that, but it's definitely worth discussing, referencing in this situation. Throughout the almost 2 hour showcase, host Jeff Keighley brought up a number of personalities to interview on stage. He had industry veteran Ed Boon up to talk about Mortal Kombat 1. And it's like, okay, what you want Ed Boon replaced the an OG Mortal Kombat creator? Him and John Tobias brought Mortal Kombat to the scene. They have penises. It is what it is. Deal with it, bitch. Like, what the fuck? Then we have Nick Cage made an appearance to talk more about his Dead by Daylight character. Once again, he's there because he's now featured in the game. Brian Intar came on stage to reveal the release of Marvel's Spider-Man 2, but not once has was a woman given that opportunity. Lack of inclusion in particularly jarring because a great many of the games included in the showcase itself featured female main characters. And it wasn't jarring to anyone but you. Literally, this was not a problem. Jarring. always the fake outrage, right? Just every time, just fake outrage upon fake outrage. I'm particularly jazzed about Life Fanya, the Time Shift Warrior, an action RPG featuring a woman of color. And yeah, here we go, who can make duplicates of herself to help her fight. Immortals of Avium stars Gina, the Taurus of Firefly and Suits fame. Alan Wake 2's presentation had a woman prowling in the dark, fending off supernatural threats. For an industry that struggles with diversity but has taken great steps to be inclusive, well, you're literally saying, oh, well, here's all this diversity, but they struggle with diversity because it's never enough for these types of individuals, the people that are super obsessive over this, for people that can't enjoy life. Like, you sound like such a miserable bitch, not for nothing. But that struggles with diversity, but has taken great steps to be inclusive in terms of who is both on the game screen and behind it. It doesn't send the best message when one of the biggest events of the year fails to spotlight the women, trans, and non-binary people who make these games a possibility. And it's just like, most people, the average person is just happy to be employed and get good benefits. But you're just like, oh, they must be forced, to be on this stage. And it's like, do these individuals wish to be on the stage? Are they just simply happy getting their paycheck, doing their work, and going home? To me, it's more important to discuss whether people are being paid adequately for their work or if they're being treated right for their work. You're just saying, well, they have to be seen on a stage. You don't really care about the quality of life these people live. You just want them to be seen. And it's like, who knows? Do they want to be seen? I know for a fact that they would like to be treated right in the workspace. That's something that everyone ideally wants, but that doesn't matter to you. But these simplistic, minuscule things are things that seem to matter to you. And you see, to be clear, this is not only a Mr. Keighley, while he does have a responsibility to ensure his show reflects the diversity of its audience, it's also on the developers to feature these presentations to put their marginalized employees forward for opportunities like this. It's like, first off, obviously it's not Jeff Keighley's fault. It's not his decision on like what person represents whatever game, or in this case, app or a TV show, comes up on the stage. That's literally not up to him. But literally, you're not saying anything. There's nothing of value here. You're just simply saying, well, and you don't even know, are the people that were even talking straight? Who knows? Like you're just saying, well, this person didn't have a vagina, so therefore They should not have been on the stage. That's literally what you're saying. This is how minuscule this argument, this debate, this problem you have is. Representation matters. Here we go all the time. Representation matters. It's just that simple. We know games are being made by a wealth of people, and we need to see them because it signals to the people watching that they too have the capability to do that, what they love. This benefits nobody. These people that are working on these games are simply doing their job. And like I said, like, why don't you fight for people to actually have good things in life, good quality of life? No, instead you're fighting over something that's so minuscule. Really, it's just a you problem. It's not like it's not like this is such a big deal in the grand scheme of things. Nobody cares except you because you have to find something to complain about. Mr. Keeley, you can feature women in your shows. You've done it before, and I'd even argue it's easy too. She's literally blaming Keeley for this. It's not like, bro, what do you want for him to sacrifice? You want Keeley to replace himself with a woman? Would that appease you? Oh my god. Right after Summer Games Fest ended, the day of the Devs Showcase began. I didn't have to wait long to see someone who looked like me. And there we go, guys. I didn't have to wait long at all to see someone who looked like me. Just the constant narcissism from these people. That's what fuels them. Blatant narcissism. It matters to you because you want to see yourself through this person that isn't you. It's like you're desperate to live vicariously, possibly having a better job through someone else. This is such a weird mindset to have. You are a narcissistic person, and that's the problem with a lot of movements nowadays, or a lot of bitching and whining nowadays. They're so blatantly narcissistic. I am a female tomboy of mixed race. You think I'm really out here saying I demand to be represented? No, because unlikely I am a unicorn. It is what it is, I guess. And I'm not saying that I'm special, but it's like, I'm not going to encounter very many people that are just like me. And guess what? That's fine, because like, I'm me and no one else can be me. And that is what it is. But for this person to be so narcissistic in their ideological nonsense, it's aggravating, it's tiresome. We've been there, done that. And I think a lot of us are just over the bitching and whining. At the end of the day, whether there were all these people on the stage were replaced by women, you'd still at the end of the day find something to whine about. Oh, they didn't look this enough or that enough or whatever have you. And it's so bothersome and obnoxious. This article is just blatantly obnoxious. Just reeks of a miserable person who probably has a miserable life. But yeah, guys, let me know what you think of this article. If you can, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, follow me over on Twitch, Twitter, or Kick if you'd like to continue the conversation. And guys, what up? I'm out. Peace.